Welcome to my channel. My name is Valerio and today we're gonna review the long-awaited new Master Grade kit by Bandai. In front of us we're gonna look at the Narrative Gundam C-Packs Ver.Ka, and I bought this model from Obilink Japan. This is a model kit, so you will have to assemble it yourself, and I paid around 55 USD plus shipment, which obviously you can optimize to try to avoid, but maybe this is gonna be, not to avoid, but to lower it, but maybe this is gonna be the argument for another video. Said so, I'm not a mega fan of this particular Gundam. I very like Gundam, but the C packs of the Narrative Gundam, not my favorite. I mean, I prefer the A pack or the B pack, to be honest, and many other. And I don't know why Bandai actually did feel the need to make a master grade out of it, but that's fine. I'm sure everybody's still happy just to have a new 1/100 scale. So this video is gonna go very quickly. We'll go super fast through the runners. I will just throw them and tell you what I think about it. Obviously this is a Bandai product, so quality of the plastic is pretty good. We have a sheet of water slide decals that is one of the design elements that Katoki uses in all of his models. Being a Ver.Ka, it is a Katoki kit. We have a lot of transparent part to do the psycho frame, and there is not too much plastic inside of it, and I might have been just mildly traumatized by the fact that I just finished the Solomon GPO2 a few days ago. That is a third-party kit, and it is a 1/100 scale, but actually had so much plastic inside of it that was way more comparable to a perfect grade. Anyway, I will not do the review out of it, so well, just to say this, by comparison, doesn't have that much plastic to begin with. Anyway, instructions are fairly clear other than in a couple of parts, but let's start with accessories, shall we? Okay, there isn't too much stuff unless you consider the psycho frame and accessories, and I will do. So this is the shield. You can have either the pink psycho frame or the deactivated psycho frame. You cannot have it without, this is my understanding, but if somebody is able to, please let me know. This is a gun. You can have a normal version or the one with the sniper rifle on the top of it. Nothing special, to be honest. This is like, I'm not a giant fan in this kind of small weapon, but it is what it is. Sabers, a couple, articulated ends. Okay, so to be honest, when we're speaking such a small scale, I do prefer, on a personal preference, fixed pose ends, because this one they're a bit floppy and they don't really hold anything, but they have a tiny peg inside of it, so not too terrible, but a bit too finicky. I'm okay with actually I really like articulated hands on 160, but for 1/100 so anyway, these are pretty fun to build, so don't worry about it. So this is the core fighter out of it. I put it here and not within the main build, mainly because, I mean, you can always decide to expose it like this. It's not gonna be amazing because obviously this transforms within what is the main body of the Gundam. You can see the tiny pilot inside of it. Transformation is not that hard, but I will not show it on video because I hate transform model kit on video. They're really finicky. Anyway, we have two options for the psycho frame. The activated pink psycho frame that is not exactly a pink, it's more like a really fluorescent pink, and the deactivated frame. From what I heard, you can use both of them also. Actually, you can use the deactivated one onto the Unicorn Gundam Master Grade Ver.Ka, and that's all. Let's start to look on the model kit. Now, the build per se was fairly easy and went pretty fast. It had a couple of pieces that weren't a bit finicky, and a couple of parts snapped on me. Nothing too terrible, but please pay attention on the parts that connect the arm. Not exactly the joint of the arm, but like around the wrist, and you will understand it. I will try to show it out of it. Anyway, it is around 10 inches, a tiny bit shorter, but not that much so. Well, it is a model kit, so the weight, we really don't care about it. Color separation is perfect. I just single snipped all the part out of it. I do plan to paint it eventually. So it is, I mean, I don't need to do much cleanup now because I will have to properly clean it up later. And it is fairly solid. Proportion wise, not a giant fan out of it. I have the feeling that the chest is not big enough. I much prefer of a similar kit the Master Grade Extreme Unicorn, better proportion, but it's not bad obviously. Still, build not particularly hard, just a couple of places on the arms. Don't worry about it in case they broke, just a couple of points of glue, and really not too much worry. And now we're gonna look at the model kit properly with the psycho frame on, because I don't think many people will keep it without the psycho frame because it looks naked. And yes, I know it's supposed to be a prototype, so it doesn't have too much armor, but still there isn't much else going on. So to attach the psycho frame, it is fairly fast in most of the part. It's not too hard out of it. However, I would have preferred if the psycho frame was kept inside the kit, so you don't have to detach it and reattach it, but you can just swap parts. There are some sliding parts out of it, so if you plan to paint it as me, please pay attention. They're gonna rub the color off, there is no way around it. And if you see on the lower part of the arm, the kind of a tiny bit elevated part, those are the part that broke on both sides of me, so please pay attention. And in any case, you can always glue them, so don't worry. Now we're gonna take a quick look at articulation. The head can move in any kind of position you will want, like this is pretty 360 up and down however you want. The arm goes over the shoulder line. There is a bicep swivel. There is the possibility of doing a full closure with the elbow. You see, there it is. Now you can see that the wrist, I did attach the closed hand instead of the articulated one. There is a tiny bit of a butterfly joint, and that joint that I'm moving, the one of the butterfly, the shoulder, is not particularly strong, so pay attention to it. You might need to kind of thicken it a tiny bit. There is a waist swivel, but we don't have an ab crunch because obviously core fighter in the middle of it. I mean, there are something you cannot do, especially on this scale. Now it can do the Van Damme, and there is the drop of the joint. I'm not sure you can see, but fundamentally the joint can drop by a tiny bit so that it can reach a higher stretch without getting into the skirts. Now we're gonna look at it all together. So double joint over the knee, nothing particular here. The inner frame get exposed. So normally it would have a bit of articulation on the tips, but it went away because we added the psycho frame. And there it is, guys. Articulation wise, it does what it's supposed to do, so I'm pretty happy with it. Nothing to write home about, but still pretty cool. Now we're gonna do a tiny bit of comparison with other kits that I can take without having to stand up. And now with the tiny Lego dude, no surprise, it's very much tiny. I mean, this is like 5 Lego dudes and something. Now this is the Sinanju, the Master Grade Sinanju with the kit on it. This is the real grade ENG Gundam with a resin kit and a metal frame out of it, so there isn't much of the real grade left. This is the Master Grade Extreme Unicorn. I mean, honestly, I much prefer the Unicorn, but this is just a personal design choice. But even from an engineering perspective, much more advanced. And now with the Gaspent HG from Super Robot Wars, still from Bandai. And now let me see if we can play with something else before we go. Oh yeah, the Bandai Super Mini Pla Daitan. And now we go on to conclusion very quickly, a bit of pro and cons, and if I recommend it. Okay, first, before pro and cons, let me say it's been a long time before we had a new Master Grade, so let's just be happy and grateful that they didn't kill the line. Said so. Did we really want the narrative Gundam? I mean, sure, why not? But still, I do expect now the P-Bandai version of the other packs, which doesn't make me particularly happy because they're going to be really expensive. Say so, let's go on conclusion for this particular kit here. So, cons and pro. So, transformation is a bit finicky, especially onto the arms. Please pay attention. There is a joint that might snap over you. This is one of the cons. The other one, a couple of points into the instruction are not super clear, but I mean, you understand it after a few seconds. And proportion are not ideal in my perspective because it has a tiny bit of a transformation. They keep the chest a tiny bit smaller than how it's supposed to be. For the prawns, sculpt is pretty good. Color separation is perfect. There are water slide decals inside of it. There are a few accessories that give you the option for the psycho frame on and off. overall, do I recommend it? I mean, sure, because if you collect Master Grade, this is the only thing that we're gonna see for 1 year, most likely. So sure, take it. Plus the various P Bandai version out of it. So I do recommend it. I just hope that we buy enough of them so that Bandai decide to do more 1/100 scale. This is my secret hope about it. But what do you think about it? Did you buy it? Are you gonna buy it? Please comment below so that I can see what you guys think about it. I'm really excited about how this is gonna look in some custom build because I think it has some nice potential. And from Valerio, it's all. Have a nice day, guys.